Good morning and welcome, everyone. Council is convened November 5th, 2025 for a couple of work sessions. We'll start out with CREDC and Clark County presentation. Mr. Holmes, and if you have a team to come up, please join him.
Chair, as they come up, I want to congratulate Port Commissioner Eric LeBrand for his victory last night as a Charter Review Commissioner. So,
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you, Chair Marshall, Councilor Fuentes, and members of the Clark County Council. My name is Eric Holmes, and I am serving as the interim president of the Columbia River Economic Development Council. It's a pleasure to be here today. We'll have our folks introduce ourselves and then move into the presentation. So, Abby.
Good morning, councilors. My name is Abby Russell. I am the operations manager for the Port of Richfield, and I am the CREDC Policy Committee Chair.
I'm Clint Hendricks, VP of Business Development for CREDC.
And if it's all right with the chair, we have members of the CREDC board who are also leaders in various organizations throughout the community. Just want to recognize them in the audience.
Yes, that would be great. If you want to introduce them as well.
If I could ask them to introduce themselves, that'd be great.
They should come to a microphone, though.
So we have, let's do it. Yes. Great.
We weren't expecting public testimony, but yes, thank you for coming forward.
Sorry.
Well, I would just introduce myself. So I'm Sarah Laughlin. I'm the vice chair of the CREDC. I work at Fuel Medical Group out in Camas. And so I've been on the CREDC board for about 5 or 6 years. Anyway, I just want to thank you all for taking the time to listen to our commentary and take in the information that we are going to present. And I'd like to thank the team for also coming to present to you today as well.
Great. Thank you. We're delighted you're here. Here comes another.
Good morning, Council. Eric LeBrand, CRADC board member, and here representing the Port of Vancouver, USA.
Great. Glad you added that USA, even though we were the first Vancouver, I believe.
Kathleen Reinhardt Waring. I'm on the executive board of the CREDC, and I'm an account executive for McDonald Miller.
Great.
Hi, I'm Steve Hogan. I'm the mayor of Camas, and I'm on the board of directors of the CREDC. It's good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
All right.
Anyone else?
I think we covered it.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay.
And thank you for that. That actually was a great display of the diversity and the range of leadership that participates in the CRDC board. And so today, really our intent is to kind of refamiliarize the Clark County Council with CRDC as an organization and the work that we do, give a little bit of a summary of successes over the last 1 to 3 years, talk a little bit about how we're funded and the role the county plays in that, and then open for any questions or discussion. So no specific ask today, just want to invest in renewal and furtherance of the relationship. So CREDC is the preeminent economic development organization for Clark County. It is a public-private nonprofit partnership organization that is governed by a diverse board of both business leaders from the community as well as leaders from public agencies and investors across Clark County. The role that we play in that kind of public-private or third sector space is to, if we think about the economy as being made up of the strong bones that are provided by our public sector agencies across the county. That's in the form of infrastructure, foundational infrastructure, the regulatory environment, the tax environment. That's kind of the bones of the economy. And if the muscle of the economy is the private sector investment that generates jobs, that fuels innovation, that provides employment. CREDC is the connective tissue between those two, the tendons and ligaments that connects the public and the private sector together and provides a kind of smooth operation and supports that smooth operation and that cohesion between the two fundamentals of our economy. So we do that through business recruitment and attraction, retention and expansion of existing businesses that are here, as well as programs that support people. And we also provide feedback and input on policy. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Abby.
Thank you, Eric. Can I have the next slide, please? So CREDC is Clark County's Associate Development Organization, or ADO, the state designated economic development organization uniting over 150 public and private partners to drive business growth, job creation, and long-term regional prosperity. For more than 40 years, we have provided free, confidential support to businesses of all sizes while leveraging partnerships at every level to strengthen Southwest Washington's economy. Every county in the state has an ADO. Sometimes it's an organization like CREDC, sometimes it's a chamber, sometimes it's a port. ADOs serve as the local economic development partners for the Department of Commerce. They are local organizations designated by each county to coordinate business recruitment, retention, and expansion activities within service areas. ADOs also support research, planning, and implementation of regional and local economic development strategies. There's a lot of words, but essentially, we are the state designated partner with Commerce to attract, retain, and support businesses for Clark County, but for the region, really. Some of the programs that CREDC includes, and we're going to talk about these in a little bit, one of them is they're regional. So we also support Cowlitz and Skamania counties in a lot of ways. Next slide, please. Hand it over to Clint.
Let me just briefly go over some of the impact of CREDC over the last few years. Over the last 4 years, we've been able to attract 1.68 billion capital investment, B2B and capital investment, as well as attract 3,900 jobs, and with 42 project wins into the county. We've originated a campaign called Just North that's had over 2 million impressions to attract young people to both live and work and stay here in Clark County. We've stood up high quality resources, and that really is in the form of Apex, which we'll talk about later, as well as stewarded the Clark County comprehensive economic development plan, which we basically updated for the next 4 years, running 2024 through now 2029. And we've delivered on various occasions objective criteria around land, and most recently a land study, which thanks to the county, helped financed by the county, we were able to deliver a land study here in Clark County, an updated land study. Next slide, please. The impact as far as those type of wins and businesses we've been able to attract are across the county, both in cities and unincorporated areas. Just those stars just represent some of the companies, everyone from Vigor to Summit Truck Body to YST and other companies across the region here in the last 4 years. Next slide, please. And what does that impact? We call it creating $34 in new business activity for every $1 invested. And that really is a conservative estimate because it's really the indirect, the B2B activity that's generated after the companies come here and start to do business and do business with other businesses that are already here, as well as businesses outside of the area. But we'd like to think for every $1 invested, there's a return of $34 in B2B activity. Next slide. Breaking down 2024 wins, we had 7 recruitments and 2 expansions, and that is about normal. Usually it's about 70% recruitments, 30% expansions. As we go forward, we look at more business retention and expansion activity, as well as attracting new companies. We've been able to attract almost over 300 million in capital investment, and as well as really the retained jobs, new and retained jobs, which is really what helps drive that 4-year total that we've been fortunate to do coming out of the pandemic from 2021 through 2024. Thank you. Next slide, please.
So Clint mentioned briefly the Apex Accelerator Program, and this is a program that's included with your investment in CREDC. And it is a nationwide program. It is partially funded through the Department of Defense as well as the state. And it provides free guidance and support to help businesses of all sizes, whether you're one woman with a pipe wrench or a hammer in a truck, or a large business with hundreds of employees. It helps you compete and win government contracts. And while the Apex program supports businesses of all sizes, there is a special focus on very small, minority-owned, women-owned, and veteran-owned businesses to connect them to the information and resources they need to understand government contracting, compete for those contracts, and win them. Next slide, please. It's been a busy year for the program. Again, this program serves Clark, Cowlitz, and Skamania counties, so it really is a regional program and part of a network of Apex Accelerator programs in the nation. Apex has helped local businesses secure more than 24 million in government contracts this year so far. I believe these numbers are as of early October. So there may be more to add to that here soon. There have been a number of events here locally and regionally. Recently, you may have seen on October 7th, there was a Meet the Contractors event at Clark College. This was free for all Washington and Oregon businesses that are interested in government contracting in public works and or with the IBR, the Interstate Bridge Replacement Project. It was an in-person event, and it was dedicated to networking with prime and subcontractors to attract or bring in disadvantaged business enterprises, as well as very large businesses and everything in between, and had a special focus on ensuring that our local and regional businesses get a piece of the pie for IBR. As we all know, when that project comes to fruition, it will be the largest project in our region. And of course, we want local businesses to be able to compete and win and participate in that and support jobs and families in our region. Next slide, please. There we go.
So what you see here is just a snapshot of revenue expenditures for the 2024 fiscal year for CREDC. It gives you a sense of where our sources of revenue come from. You can see it's roughly split between public investment and a combination of private investment and program income being from programs that the CREDC runs and operates. We do a little bit of event activity. There's historically been an annual golf tournament that's been pretty popular, as well as luncheons throughout the year. And then a little bit of interest on the expense side. No surprise, the vast majority of the expenses are the people that are doing the work of CREDC. A little bit of operations there, a little bit of direct expenses, but you can see that we have largely rely on the combination of public and private investment on the revenue side. The public investment leverages private sector investment into the table. We have a total of about 150 investors. So it's a relatively broad-based, diverse set of investors, but that key is the public and private together. Next slide. And then this just gives a little bit of a context of Clark County's investment relative to the whole. It's about a little more than 8% of the total. And that is on par with other major public sector investors in Clark County. And we very much appreciate it. All right, next slide. So that provides kind of the overview snapshot. Again, there's no specific ask today. We just wanted to take a little bit of time, sit down face to face. I know we had a chance to spend a little bit of time with Chair Marshall and Councilor Fuentes about 6 weeks ago. We appreciate that opportunity as well as this one, and really look forward to building a more robust relationship with Clark County, with multiple touches throughout the year with both our elected leadership as well as the staff, all in service to growing the regional economy. So we appreciate your partnership and your investment, and happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you. And I want to thank you for taking the time to meet with a couple of us before. I learned a lot in that session, especially impressed with Julia and the Apex program. I had not known about that. Is that fairly recent that that program has come into play?
Yes, fairly. Like in the last, I think, 2.5 years, there was an approach to homing for the state to home the Apex program in this region, and CREDC competed for that and became the host agency for Apex. We are part of a statewide network of 12 Apex coordinator organizations, and then that's all coordinated out of the office in Thurston County.
Great, fantastic.
Chair.
Other comments? Yes, go ahead.
First of all, thank you. But I do want the record to show, although we're not making any decisions today, that I am on the executive board for CREDC. So thank you for this. And I agree with Chair Marshall. One of the things that I've been impressed is the EPICS program. I learned about it not through council, but through Fourth Plane Forward in my other life. I met with Julia and told me all the wonderful things that the program is doing, which aligns with a lot of what the my organization at Fourth Plane Forward does. So again, thank you for all your hard work.
And if I may offer, I think we've already recognized Julia has been a tremendous asset, and she's actually working back at the office on things. But she has been the Apex coordinator until just a few months ago when she was promoted into a different position in the organization. Just want to assure for you that we are actively recruiting and actually this week doing interviews for a replacement coordinator to keep the momentum going on that program.
Thank you. Other questions or comments? Go ahead, Councilor
Yes,
Young.
thank you for coming this morning. Appreciate it. Just that I appreciate and I value the EDC and what it does for the community. It's an investment that makes sense in the sense that it brings a much higher return on investment than the actual investment that we make into it. I did have a couple comments though, and then just in terms of the overall relationship between the county and CREDC. In my role as counselor, I was on the executive board for I think 2 years, one or 2 years. I don't know, time blends together, but one of the things that we had talked about was the employment land study, and I did bring that back to the council and pitch it, and we approved it. But I will say that I'm very frustrated with that entire process. I don't think I have even seen the report yet. We had to basically follow up rather than being proactively communicated with. We were never receiving any updates. We were originally hoping to be able to incorporate that information to the comp plan update. That's not going to be able to happen. But I have this vision. I think that I said this from the dais multiple times during our work on the comp plan update. Is I feel like after we're done checking the boxes from the comp plan update, then we can get busy doing some real planning. And I really do have a vision for where the city, the smaller cities, and the county can really functionally work together and develop a plan along with CREDC for all of our employment lands, looking at it holistically. What do we have? What's specific to Clark County? Do we have the advantages over other areas? What does our infrastructure look like? Can we work with PUD, to develop that infrastructure where it makes sense to do so? And then, in terms of like comp plan update, one of the big things that I was hoping for is, we're focusing really strongly on density and housing, but I think we ought to focus on density and employment lands too. How many jobs per acre are these industries bringing in? Do we want to attract those, the employment companies that have a low jobs per acre? Do we want to, so kind of developing that overarching plan and incorporating that into our comp plan update. Obviously, we're not going to make this update, but in the future one. So there's a multi-year process. But I also would I would love to have a work session update or one-on-ones with the land study. It would be nice to be able to see what the fruits of that were. But I just think communication needs to be worked on. Nobody's perfect for sure, but I think that some work could be done on that for sure. But I appreciate what you do. And like I said, I have a vision for everybody really fundamentally working together and being very, very thoughtful about the future of Clark counties and the jobs that we have here.
Thank you. I do feel like I recall seeing a map, and that we may have gotten that report, but we get so many things. But I recall seeing a map and looking at it in terms of the growth boundaries that were being proposed.
If I may, Chair Marshall.
Yes, please.
First of all, Councilor Young, thank you for your direct expression of concern. One of the things that I've been trying to do in my interim role is to understand the state of relationships between CREDC and our investors, and have that understanding inform what the next president will focus their efforts and time on. That curiosity around the status of the employment land study, excuse me, is something that has been shared across multiple organizations. We actually we have delivered it to the county, and Chair Marshall, you probably caught a glimpse of it. There will be a more formal rollout of the plan over the next 4 weeks, looking at getting it to our cornerstone investors first, which means the county. So you can probably look for that in your inbox. It'll be the full report, as well as a link to the interactive GIS-based mapping tool that came along with it. So you should look for that very soon. It'll come from me. And then underlying some of the frustration that you expressed is really an interest in having more regular proactive contact from the CREDC to all of our investors, but in particular our kind of cornerstone investors like the county. And that's something that I've been working with the team on to make sure that we programmatically are reaching out and engaging with the county, with the city, with the ports, to make sure that we're understanding what opportunities are bubbling up, bringing opportunities to those agencies and investors, and more collaboratively kind of getting to the wins, right?
Thank you for that, and I apologize if we did receive it and I missed it.
No, like you
But
said, you get a lot of stuff.
It gets drowned out in
Yeah.
all the things. But
Yeah.
I did want to say, I think that CREDC really fundamentally is the group that could start to organize this focus between all of the jurisdictions to try to get this work done and have one goal, one Clark County goal that includes everyone. So that we're all working together to make a better place for our people to live. Thank you.
Maybe a model for that. I know there's the RTC does works with all of the jurisdictions to put together transportation priorities. Maybe they're a similar sort of thing. And we have 8 months, it turns out, left for our comp planning, and so I wouldn't rule out the opportunities there are still to collaborate on that. I served on the Workforce Southwest Washington board for a year, and I know they have looked very closely at the IBR and the economic potential and the jobs. One thing I think of concern was assuring that our workforce is prepared to compete and get those jobs, and the economic, it will change lives. That revenue that comes in and the opportunities that provides. Could you talk a little bit, because I know you work very closely with Workforce Southwest Washington. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'll lead off and then ask the team if they want to fill in any of my gaps. But Southwest Washington Workforce Development Council is like a companion nonprofit that does work to, as the name suggests, build workforce capacity and align programs to develop skills that are responsive to what the economy needs. And that ultimately translates into more robust employment, more employment longevity, and greater prosperity at a household level. So we actually share an office space with the Workforce Development Council. We work closely with them. One of the initiatives that is in the Clark County's strategic economic development plan is around building talent. And so we focus on supporting the placemaking effort that draws talents here. And then through our partnership with the Workforce Development Council, and they're an investor in us as well, work with them to develop the skills that keep them here and allow them to find living wage employment.
I'm also concerned about the people who are here right now.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
I'm sure we are attracting
Yeah,
a
we
lot
are.
of
That's
people,
true.
but
That's true.
I think there are, there's a young workforce out
Yeah.
there that may not really realize they're part of the workforce fully yet, but
Yeah.
and need some support to move into that
Yeah.
productivity.
Yeah,
So,
I absolutely agree. And thank you for pointing out that it isn't all about the new people that are coming, but also those that are here already. And there's been some partnership investments in developing a full range of skills, particularly for young people who are entering the workforce. So not just college bound, but also in the trades, so that we have a sufficient workforce to be able to build community through things like the IBR project, but many other projects as well, and that there is a sufficient well-trained labor force from folks that are here already, as well as coming from elsewhere.
great. Any other comments or questions from council? Anything else you'd like to add?
No, just gratitude. We do very much appreciate the partnership with Clark County and the investment that you make into the EDC.
Great. Thank you. And we'll look forward to your involvement in the comp plan update as that rolls out and future meetings.
Yep. And then look for the land
Look
study.
for that. Yep. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks to all the board members.